Are we ready for the Board of Bar Examiners now?
I think we could give them a few more minutes. I don't see
right.
Gus on yet. Oh, wait, I do see Gus. Gus, are you here? I see him in the queue, but I don't know if he's actually there.
I don't think he's.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we then do the legislative session wrap up and I've got Chair Grabicki is not able to be with us today, but Chief Communications Officer Nagalski has agreed to provide the report for our legislative session. Chief Nagalski.
Thank you. It's been a couple of weeks since the Board Legislative Committee has met. And so I think this is pretty much officially the week where we're sending the wrap up to sections and to others to really say the 2021 legislative session is truly and well over. As we've talked about before, this was a pretty unprecedented legislative session in that nearly all the legislature's business was conducted fully or mostly remotely. And despite that, I feel like, especially for the bar, it was productive, and we were able to accomplish our legislative goals and interact in many of the same ways we do when we are down actually in Olympia. So I was going to speak to a few of the legislative goals that we started with and how we accomplished those. And then if we have questions, take those at the end. But probably most significantly, as we do every year, we look at our bar request legislative proposals. And so those are legislative requests originated from entities, generally sections, that come to the board before the legislative session with requests to help support and sponsor and put those through. So this year, WSBA had two request bills, Senate Bill 5005 and Senate Bill 5034. Both of those came from the business law section. Senate Bill 5005 updated the Washington Business Corporation Act to enable corporations to deliver notices and other communications to shareholders and directors by email and other forms of electronic transmission. That bill was signed into law on April 16th, and it's going to go into effect in July, on July 25th. And then Senate Bill 5034 originated from the Nonprofit Corporations Committee of the Business Law section. And this is a bill, it's a pretty comprehensive update and modernization of the Washington Nonprofit Corporations Act, and which has not received a significant overhaul since it was enacted in 1967. And so it was pretty significant, and that section had been working on it for several years. Senate Bill 5034 was signed into law on May 3rd, and it goes into effect January 1st, 2022. And then our other priorities were to support non-bar request legislative proposals approved by the board. And I wanted to remind you that you did that during session, took action to support funding of Resolution Washington, the statewide Association of Dispute Resolution Centers, and also in collaboration with Elder Law, the board as a whole opposed the passage of House Bill 1197, which was an act relating to healthcare decisions made by a designated person, which did not pass out of policy. And so, again, able to have a voice as a board and to support our entities looking at that. And then, as we all know, another really significant part of the legislative work that we endeavored to do is to monitor and take appropriate action on legislative proposals significant to the practice of law and administration of justice. And really, this is what I think of where we say our members, our sections, the practitioners who work with the laws, who use the laws, and who knows the law, they really have some expertise that lawmakers benefit from when we can monitor and connect that wisdom before laws are made. And so this year, there was a lot of key bills that we monitored, but just the stats, the session stats are, as the bills were coming in the initial flurries, we referred 712 bills to sections. We tracked 489 bills that sections responded and said they had some interest in. And we coordinated with section for action on 11 bills. And so I think, again, it's such an important function when we can coalesce the knowledge and expertise of our members to help improve law and make better law. I also want, so that's the roundup of the session, and I'll take questions if you have it, but I also wanted to announce a few things. One is that, as most of you know, our Legislative Affairs Manager, Sanjay Walvakar, left. He had a really exciting opportunity to go work with the Washington Police Chief and Sheriff's Association. He had a very exciting session, made a lot of connections, and decided that actually he has really felt compelled and pulled to come back and be part of WISBA again. So I am just absolutely thrilled that we're going to welcome Sanjay back on Monday. He took a much needed break, but he'll be back. And so really someone who has made a lot of connection, knows what WISBA does, who our section leaders are, what the BLC's purpose and aims are, and we'll really be able to come back and start integrating into a lot of that work. So that's on Monday. We're going to hopefully do quite a bit of work in this off session season. I know that we still have talks about sections, still looking at some of the issues that came up even in section about the old comment policy versus the new comment policy, and what we can do to continue to make sure that sections are able to, again, do that work with the legislators as well as they can, how we can help facilitate that, and really working with different entities to make sure that they understand what it looks like to be able to propose and support bills by the time the fall comes around, so we're ready for the 2022 session. So that is the wrap up. That is some wonderful news beginning for our legislative affairs team on Monday, and a little peek into the future. So if you have questions, you can ask me. I know we have quite a few BLC members here as well who can probably speak to very particular things even better than I can.
Thank you, Director Nagowski. Any questions for Director Nagowski? Not seeing any. Thank you, Director Nagowski, Chief Nagowski. And we look forward to seeing Sanjay again.